Good morning students, welcome back. So in yesterday's class we have seen about your ground based augmentation system, which are classified into two categories. One was your national wide differential global positioning system, NDGPS, as well as your LAS is there. So in that one again they are classified in, so in previous two classes we have completely discussed about your national wide DGPS. In yesterday's class we have seen about LADGPS as well as WADGPS. So here today also we are going to discuss something about your some key points and some description about your LADGPS and WADGPS. What is LADGPS? That is nothing but local area differential GPS, global positioning system. When it comes to the WADGPS, it is wide area differential global positioning system. So these about this national wide or DGPS, these are again categorized into these two types. So all these will be coming under your ground based augmentation system, means all the improvement of the signals which we are getting from the satellite segments, that has to be improved at the ground level. So we are all concentrating on your GBAS. So this GBAS is classified again in two types. Again one of them is again classified into two types. So by so these are the two types of your national wide DGPS. So once again we'll revise about all these things. So have taken some bullet points from different articles I have written over here. So why actually we have gone for the DGPS and how these are distinguished. This DGPS have been distinguished or differentiated in two types. So the main agenda, as I have told yesterday's class itself, the main agenda or the main thing that why your DGPS have been established as to have your accuracy. So as to achieve the proper or the good accuracy, we are going for the DGPS. Along with the accuracy, with the good positioning and for the post positioning also, we are going for the NDGPS. So here, as to achieve the accuracy for a single point positioning with the GPS is insufficient for many application. SPS, what we have discussed yesterday, single point positioning. Okay, so as to achieve the accuracy for a single point positioning with the GPS is insufficient for many of the applications. So that's the reason we are moving for the DGPS or the differential global positioning system service, which has been established all over the world to give the proper accuracy and proper positioning. So for many kind of applications, both for the civilian as well as for the militaries. So they are distinguished or differentiated again into two types, which are so called as your local area DGPS services, that is LADGPS for the small areas such as the countries, a particular country. Now comes to the wide area DGPS or the WADGPS. These are used or mainly used for the larger areas such as your whole continent or even whole your worldwide. So these are the two things why we have differentiated these things. Now all of them have in common that the DGPS services distinct methods for generating the differential GPS corrections have been developed. So here in DGPS, what is the service they are commonly giving? They are giving the services as to generate the errorless signals. So we are getting the signals from the satellite segment or the space segment, and we are correcting that particular signals, and that all services have been developed by using your DGPS. Okay, differentiate or the distinct method for generating the DGPS corrections have been developed. However, the main disadvantage of your LADGPS or the local area DGPS service is that position accuracy of a user degrades as a reference to user separation is increasing. Suppose the reference station is here at this some point. If I'll show in a paint. See, I'll draw the figure and explain. What are the main disadvantage of your local area differential GPS service is that if the position accuracy of the user degrades, the accuracy of the position of the user will be degrading if the reference station to the user separation will be increases. That means that if your reference station and the user, suppose this is your reference station, okay, this is the reference station that you are having. If it is very nearby to the user, then there is a proper accuracy and there is no kind of error. This is your user. Okay, so in case if the distance is nearer, then they will be having a proper accuracy. But what happens But here you see here, but the position accuracy of the user degrades as a reference to the user separation will be increasing. Suppose if you consider this one, this user is here in case, or your reference station has been more, this separation will be increased. So if you are increasing this particular separation, then what happens, your degradation of your position accuracy will be increasing. If this is the separation, and if it is increased, the user and the receiver station separation has been increased, then you won't be getting the proper accuracy. So this is the user and this is the reference station. Here you won't be getting the proper accuracy. So the main disadvantage of your local area DGPS service is that the position accuracy of the user degrades as a reference to user separation will be increasing. Now see, the spatial decorrelation of error source, that is the atmospheric propagation and satellite orbit errors, are the main causes of the degradation of the position accuracy. So what are the main sources of errors which will be decreasing the accuracy, the position accuracy, are your atmospheric propagations as well as the satellite orbit errors. In case of there are any errors in the satellite orbits, due to that one you will be getting the error, and that will be causing you to degradation of position accuracy. Along with that one, if you are having the atmospheric propagations like atmospheric errors, ionospheric errors as well as your tropospheric errors, if you are having, then there are the main cause for the degradation of your position accuracy. Fine. So the combination of the measurements of the several reference stations can be used to model these error components separately. So what we are doing, we are separately maintaining some reference stations that can be used to model these error components separately. So if I am having different kinds of errors, what I will be doing, I will be having some number of like 4 or 5 number of reference stations. So for different errors, we will be going for the different reference stations. The data with the errors will be collected, and they can also be mitigated, or it can be corrected over there. So this was about your, what we can say, LADGPS as well as your WADGPS. This WADGPS can also be called as your SBAS. SBAS is nothing but satellite based augmentation system, because it is the larger areas that will be covering all over the continents or all over the world also. So this we have seen completely in the previous classes, where we have discussed about your satellite based augmentation systems for the larger areas, right? So this is the example of your what we can say SBAS, that is space based augmentation system, means which is covering the all over the world. Like it will be covering some particular continents, like a wide area augmentation segment augmentation system is covering your US countries or something. Then this IGNOS will be it will be covering European countries. Gagan is about your India, and MASES is about your Japan. So it will be covering different countries. For the larger area augmentation services, even given by this one. So the wide area DGPS, this wide area DGPS is all for the larger areas such as whole continents or even for the worldwide. So this will be similar to that of your SBAS, space based augmentation system. But whereas your LBAS is local area differential global positioning system, so here your accuracy will be differentiating depending upon the difference between the reference and the user separations and the main source of errors from where you are getting, and due to that one you will be having degradation of position accuracy. So this was about your differential GPS, a small description, overall brief description about your DGPS and how they are classified into two types, that are your LADGPS and WADGPS. So here some of the key points are here of your LADGPS. So this LADGPS will be serving the user with some close proximity. So for the aircraft using very high frequency data links, the range is limited by the distance the station can communicate with the receiver through the direct line of sight, because the principle of operation of your GPS is your line of sight. So this range is limited by the distance. As I've already said, if the distance between the user and the reference station is increasing, then you will be getting the accuracy problems. So here also the range is limited by the distance of the station that can communicate with the receiver to the direct line of sight. We can be, you should be having your direct line of sight data links. and that can be extended up to 400 kilometers medium frequency for the maritime services. So it is extendable up to only 400 kilometers, that too only for maritime services. If you consider for any other services, it should be less than of that your 400 kilometers. I'll show you the figure also, like how your LADGPS works over here. So this LADGPS will be having your reference stations, okay, and you will be having a reference station, one more reference station here, which will be giving you the connections to the user segment. So from the space segment, all these GPS satellites will be giving the information to your reference station or the ground station. This is a ground based documentation system. So here you will be getting the data from your satellites which are present in the space, and here along with the data which are collected by the space segment, you will be having some known coordinates, like you will be having some key points or the data for the reference. So you will be comparing and you will be cross checking what are the errors that you have got, and that is given to the transmitter receiver station. Along with the correction, it is given to the user receiver. So you will be now see here, as we have already discussed in every architecture of your augmentation system, both in space as well as your ground, what you are doing, these satellites will be sending the messages to the reference stations. Along with that one, they are also giving it to the user segment. So here the position is all given, and accuracy is all done by using your ground segments. So both the data will be collected by using your user segment. So the direct data which is coming from the GPS satellite, that is also available for the user, plus the corrected data with errors which you have got at the receiver station, that is also given to the user. So this is how your LADGPS or the local area differential global position system will be working. So here are the some of the accuracy limiting factors of your LADGPS. So as the user moves away from the reference station, what I have told already, this one. So as the user moves away from the reference station, the common error which is spatially correlated becomes uncorrelated, and due to that one you will be getting some errors or the limiting factors. As I have said, if the receiver is moving away or the user is moving away from the reference station, here at this point only you will be getting the errors. You will start getting the errors. If you will be moving, the separation between the reference stations and the user will be increasing if the distance is increasing between them. So due to that one, what happens, there will be some correlated becomes correlated message, or the spatial correlated terms will be become uncorrelated, and because of which the accuracy will be start degrades. So that these are the following accuracy limiting factors that you are having. Very first one is error due to viewing angle. View angle, because your principle of operation is your line of sight. If the receiver and the user segment are farther away, your distance has been increasing, of course the line of sight will be differentiated, correct? So there will be error due to your viewing angle. Second, error due to is tropospheric delays for the atmospheric delays, and the third one is your error due to the ionospheric delays. Due to these three things, you will be getting or degrading the accuracy. Let's see one by one. Error due to the viewing point. So this is the error accuracy limiting factor 1, which is your error due to viewing point. This is the satellite position, okay, and this is the estimated satellite position which is done by the reference stations and all. So what happens if your line of your user and the reference station has some difference between them? What happens, actually you have to get here estimated point is here, but you are getting the data from this satellite at this point. So there this much of difference or this angle difference you will be getting. So due to this you will be having a variation of pseudo random codes at the viewing angle. So what happens, due to this viewing angle or the view angle, this is the angle, this much of difference you have obtained, and due to this variation there will be some effect which will be affected on your pseudo random codes what you are having. So and that codes has to be corrected due to this kind of error. Now second comes to your accuracy limiting factor, that is error due to the tropospheric delay. What happens for the tropospheric delay? So this is the troposphere where you will be having. So here the satellite, this GPS satellites are sending you the message or the signal, but here according to the troposphere it should not be coming here, but due to tropospheric, because you will be having some charged particles over there, they will be refracting back. Okay, some charged particles will be refracting back, so that's one reason you will be getting this kind of error in the tropospheric delay. Then third comes to your accuracy limiting factor is due to errors will be occurring due to the ionospheric delays. In the ionospheric delays, what you will be having, sorry ma, I have told quite opposite. In troposphere you will be having the atmospheric pressures, right? Due to that atmospheric pressures or the weather condition, your signal will be changed, and that will be like you will be having some error due to that one. So this is the error that will be occurred due to the tropospheric delays. And when comes to the ionospheric delays, there it is some 1,000 kilometers farther above the earth. So there you will be having some negative charged particles that will be affecting your signal. So this is how you will be getting the error in your error in the ionospheric delays. If the satellite is the one where which is giving you the signals, and this is the angle, so whenever you are reaching to the earth, due to some what happens, charged particles that will be changing the angle of your particular signal which is obtained by your satellite. Actually you have to get the signal at the angle from this particular point. You will be getting the angle from here itself because of the ionosphere, because of the charged particles that will also be generating a signal along with that one. So that's the reason error is occurred, and that errors will be affecting the accuracy of your GPS. So these are the three limiting factors of your accuracy limiting factors of your LADGPS. So that were the limiting factors which can be mitigated by using different technologies according to some different particular applications, or either your reference station and the user station can be kept near. So that was about your LADGPS and WADGPS. WADGPS is nothing but space-based augmentation system that we have already discussed. So this was about your NDGPS or DGPS and the two variation that you had. And the last topic that is remaining is your LAS, that is your local area augmentation system or augmented system. So this is the last topic that we have to discuss in your third unit, that is your local area augmented system, right? So this local area augmentation system or LAS is all-weather aircraft landing system based on real-time differential correlation of the GPS. So what it will be doing, what is the main aim of your local area augmentation system is that it is an all-weather aircraft landing based system on real-time differential corrections. So all the weather condition, how your aircraft is landing or how your aircraft is taking off, all the information and the corrected information will be given to the GPS signal. All the real-time information or the differential correlation information is given to the GPS. So this is all done by your local area augmentation system. So this local reference receiver located located around the airport send data to the central location at the airport. What happens, the local reference stations which are located around the airport will be giving the data to the central locations at the airport. So what it does mean that you will be having a reference station as well as your central location in your airports, because what this local area augmentation system is doing, it will be giving the all-weather aircraft report or the landing based report to the GPS. All corrected data will be given. So this must be present in the airport itself. So this data is used to formulate a correction message which is then transmitted to the user via VHF data link, that is nothing but omnidirectional data links. So a receiver on an aircraft uses this information to correct the GPS signals whatever they are getting. So as I have said, the receiver which is on the aircraft, like example aeroplane, will be using the information to correct the GPS signal, the information which you are getting from the omnidirectional link. Okay, that will be transmitting you the corrected message. So this is how you will be working. Then if you compare your LAS with the WAS, wide area augmentation system, that is one of the part of your space based augmentation system, the LAS accuracy is typically 2 to 3 times better than that of your WAS. Okay, local area augmentation system accuracy is better than that of your wide area augmentation system, and the system is designed to support the landing operation in zero visibility conditions also. So this system is designed, which system? This LAS, local area augmentation system, is designed in such a way that if the landing support landing is in zero visibility, in case your plane is not unable to visible also, you are unable to see your aircraft also, in that particular condition also you are able to do like you are able to get all the data related to that one and correct also. So this LAS provides a more cost beneficial alternative to other landing system, because a single facility can provide services to all runways at an airport, and the precise positioning service is available at 360 degrees coverage out of 23 miles to enable three-dimensional arrivals, because your GPS will be working on three-dimensional work or the trilateration. So these LAS can provide a more cost effective or the more cost beneficial alternative to the other landing systems, because this single LAS system can provide services to all the runways of that particular airport, all the airport, because your airport is not smaller, it will be larger, a very wide airport. So this single system will be covering all the runways of your all the airport throughout the airport with the precise positioning, and its angle will be 360 angles. It will be covering all over the 360 angles, and it will be available or enabled up to 23 miles. So it will be covering up to 23 miles also, and to enable three-dimensional arrivals, because as to we have to give the three-dimensional arrivals from all over the runways. So it is covering up to 23 miles. So this was about your LAS. I'll show you the figure also how actually it will be working. See here, this is the architecture or the view of your LAS, that is your local area augmented system. I hope it is clear. I'll make somewhat wider here. See here. So what you are having three components over here in the LAS. First one, you will be having the ground station. One is the ground station. To that you will be having a power supply. Along with that one you will be having your processing unit or the status information unit. Okay, ATC also we can say that. I have given just an example as ATC. Don't consider it compulsory. Okay. So you are having three components I have said. So first one, you will be having a ground station. Okay, this is the ground station what you are having. Then you will be having a power supply unit as well as the processing unit in this one. Then second, you will be having the reference receivers or the reference antennas here. So this here, see, you will be having 4 reference antennas in this LAS. 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the 4 reference antennas which are present in your LAS. And third one is your one omnidirectional antenna will be present. See this one, this is the omnidirectional antenna that you will be having. So what are the 3 things you will be having? One is the ground station's power supply as well as the processing unit. This is one part. This whole thing is your one part. Okay, then you will be having reference stations, 4 reference stations you are considering here, and you will be having the omnidirectional antenna, that is the omnidirectional, and the frequency band what you are using here is omnidirectional very high frequency data broadcast signal. Okay, so that is called as your VDB, and it is very high frequency band that you are considering. So now consider what is the working of here. So from the information that you are getting from the GPS satellites is given to the user, one, and second is given taken by the reference station at the ground antenna, ground system, another ground segment. So this reference station will be collecting the data, and that will be checking like what are the errors that you are having. Okay, whatever the information that you have got, what are the errors that you are getting, that is taken, and they will be checking and they will be correcting over there, and that all information is given to the omnidirectional antenna. This omnidirectional antenna will be transmitting the information, the correct information with the full accuracy of position also is given to your user segment, that is your planes or the aircrafts here, and this will be getting all over, it will be covering all 360 degrees, and the space will be of your 23 miles. So it will be covering all over the airport of your airport, complete airport, and you will be getting for the all 3-dimensional will be also be covered as you, because you have to, your GPS will be working on trilateration, so all 3 dimensions will be worked So this is how your LAS will be working. So these are the ranging sources, GPS, from where information is given to your user, as well as your reference stations. This reference station will be collecting the data in case of any errors are there that has to be corrected. That is given to your ground stations and the processing unit, that all the processing is been done, and that is given to the omnidirectional antenna. This omnidirectional antenna again will be transmitting the data to the users. So this is how your whole working of your LAS will be done. So see, the list of LAS system consists of ground station, the processing unit or the power supply in one shelter of the airport property. Okay, this all will be on your at only one shelter in the airport itself. Then you will be having 4 reference receivers or the 4 reference antennas. You will be having one very high frequency data link antenna or the omnidirectional antenna. All of the equipments are installed at the airport itself, and the corrections and the integrity information is transmitted to the aircraft via local very high frequency transmitter. That is your omnidirectional antenna. These all are done. See, these all have to be situated in the airport itself, because it's all ground based system and it is all supporting for your aircraft. So these all 3 components are situated in the airport itself: reference stations, ground station, and your data link antenna, that is your omnidirectional antenna. All are installed at only single airport itself. So this local area augmentation system is all with again I have repeating. So this was about your local area augmentation system, which will be supporting you the real-time differential corrections of the GPS of all weather aircraft landing systems. It also gives you the proper information with the corrections also, and you will be having will be using very high frequency data link for sending the corrected message to the users. So this was about your local area augmented system. So this was about your whole augmentation system, all the 3rd chapter that we have covered up to augmentation systems, which are classified into 2 types: ground based and satellite based. So in ground based, DGPS and LAS was there. Again, this DGPS is classified into LADGPS and WDGPS, whereas your SBAS was classified into 4 types: WAS, Gagan, IGNOS, and MSAS. All these things we have covered. I hope you are all clear with the 3rd chapter of your augmentation system. So once I'll take you people to the syllabus copy, so that we can cross check that we have already finished all our what we can say topics. We have covered all the topics of your 3rd chapter completely. So this GPS augmentation system, okay, we have seen what is augmentation system, classification of augmentation system, what are the advantages of your SBAS and GBAS, and what are the this we have seen wide area augmentation system architecture, then LAS architecture that we have seen today, and then GPS Gagan we have also completed, IGNOS we have completed, MSAS we have completed, as well as a differential GPS that was one of the part of your ground based augmentation system. So I hope you are clear with this 3rd unit. In case of any kind of doubts, please do let me know, and please practice. This is one of the important as well as your interesting chapter in your global navigation satellite system. So I hope you are clear with all these things. So inshallah after vacation again I'll start the fresh chapter. Okay, I'll give a small introduction also about that one, what are the topics that you are going to cover in that. So this is the syllabus copy of your GNSS. In that we have alhamdulillah finished all 3 units without missing any topic, hopefully. Now in the 4th chapter we are going to see other global navigation systems, like GPS is the navigation system which will be global positioning system, which will be using the constellation of 24 satellites. So along with that one, we are also having different navigation satellite systems which will be using the constellation of 32 satellites, or some will be using 26 satellites. So these different countries will be using different constellation of satellites. So in 4th chapter it is all about other global navigation satellite systems. There we are going to discuss about the architectures and features of your Russian global navigation system, which is called as GLONASS. I have given a small introductory part of your GLONASS and Galileo in the 1st chapter itself. I'll sharing the link also. You will get just an idea about what is Galileo and what is GLONASS. So this is this is Russian based navigation system which is called as GLONASS, and the European based navigation system, it is called as Galileo. Chinese replaced the navigation system, which is called as COMPAS, and your global navigation satellite system application. These all are the 4 topics that we have to discuss in the 4th unit. So in this 3rd unit, all the terms and all the topics we have covered. So in case of any doubts in these topics, architectures or the classifications of augmentation system, what actually augmentation system is here, you have to go through all these things. In case of any doubts, please do know, let me know. As well as practice all this, you will be having a 10 days of vacation. In the 10 days of vacation, so I request all the students to go through with all these 3 chapters completely, make a notes, practice well. Okay, take care all of you. Thank you. I'll wind up the class here itself. Thank you.